Welcome in S.A.K Learning, and if you are new over here, please subscribe this channel. And in today's video, we will be studying biology important MCQs, group number 3rd. So let's move to the MCQs. MCQ number 1 is, what is the basic unit of heredity? The basic unit of heredity. Heredity means those characteristics which are transferred from parents to offspring. So these characteristics are transferred from parents to offspring in the form of DNA, chromosomes, gene, or allele, but the basic unit is gene. Okay, gene will comprise chromosomes, and gene will comprise DNA, and DNA plus proteins will form chromosomes. So gene is the basic unit of heredity. This is the first MCQs. Moving to the second one, gene is correct answer. Here's explanation. Genes are the basic units of heredity containing the instructions for traits passed from parents to offsprings. So these are the basic units which has some instructions, which has some information, and according to those information in the body, proteins will be formed. So genes are the basic units for heredity or of heredity. Next MCQs. What is the process by which plants lose water vapors to small openings in their leaves called? There are small openings in the leaves of plants which are called stomata. So through these stomata, plants lose some water in the form of vapors, in the form of gas, and this loss of water from plants, aerial parts of plants, is called transpiration, respiration, photosynthesis, and evaporation. It is transpiration, because respiration is the process of gases exchange, you can say. Photosynthesis is the synthesis of food. Evaporation is again the conversion of liquid into gas form. Okay, so correct option is transpiration, and transpiration is the process through which plants lose their extra water. Transpiration is the process by which water vapors is lost from plants through small openings called stomata. Next, what is the role of the enzyme amylase in digestion? Amylase is an enzyme which plays its role in digestion. Digestion is the process through which food is break down into large particle into small particles. This process is known as digestion. Small means like absorbable particle, absorbable in the blood, from the lumen of the stomach to the lumen of the blood vessel. So breakdown of proteins, breakdown of carbohydrates, breakdown of lipids, absorption of nutrients. It is breakdown of carbohydrates. Breakdown of carbohydrates is done by an enzyme amylase in the digestion. So breakdown of carbohydrates, amylase an enzyme that break down carbohydrates, especially starch into simpler sugar molecule. Carbohydrates consist of sugar molecules. So breakdown of carbohydrates into sugar molecule is known as breakdown of carbohydrates, and it is done by an enzyme amylase. Next one, what is the process by which plants respond to stimuli such as light called? Stimuli means any change in the environment, external or internal environment, any change in the external or internal environment, and response is the reply. And response means that approach to that stimuli, whether it is negative or positive, whether plants moving towards the stimuli or away from the stimuli. So if the stimuli is light, if the change is light, so then that is the response of plant, is known as photosynthesis. Not at all respiration, not phototropism, gravitropism. It is correct option is phototropism, because plants respond to external stimuli light, whether it is moving away to the stimulus or nearer to the stimulus. So respond of plants to the stimuli such as light is called phototropism. Next one is which of the following is the largest internal organ in the human body? Largest internal organ. Some people consider that it is skin, but if we use the word internal organ, internal means present inside the body. So if we just say that the largest organ, it might possible that it is a skin. The correct option might be skin, but here we have largest internal organ means it is present inside the body. So brain, not the largest organ, heart is not the largest one, skin is not the largest one, even if it is the largest one, but again it is not present inside the body. So liver is the largest one because it is the largest organ and it is present inside the body. So that's why we can say largest internal organ in the human body is liver. And liver basically perform vital functions like detoxification. Detoxification means removal of the toxic effects, metabolism, breakdown and breakdown of large molecules to smaller one, and formation from large molecule to large particles, and nutrient storage. All these are function of the liver. What is the role of the enzyme pepsin in digestion? Pepsin is another enzyme which plays its role in digestion. So enzyme pepsin basically break down proteins. Correct option is protein. Carbohydrate is incorrect, lipid is incorrect, and nutrients in absorbing nutrients is incorrect. Next one, which of the following is a function of the endocrine system? Inside the body, there are two basic systems which play important role in coordination and controlling the body. One is endocrine and second one is nervous. So what basically endocrine system do inside the body? Nervous system and endocrine system. But here in these MCQs they have asked about the endocrine system. Function of endocrine system: number one, regulation of body temperature, production of hormones and chemical messengers, filtration of the blood. Again, filtration of the blood is a function of kidney. Digestion of the food is function of stomach or small intestine, you can say. Regulation of body temperature is again the function of is not the function of endocrine system. Production of hormones and chemical messenger, yes, and it's also the function of endocrine system, but if we categorize further deeply, it is the function of thermoregulatory system, thermoregulatory system or thermoregulation. So endocrine system performs the production of hormones and chemical messengers. The endocrine system produces hormones that regulate various bodily functions, including metabolism, growth, and reproduction. Endocrine system produce hormones directly in the blood. There is no storage inside the body, no storage mechanism to store the hormones. So it will direct release or secretes its hormones inside the blood and will go to the site where inside the body where these are needed. What is the role of enzymes lipase in digestion? It is another enzyme, and the third enzyme lipase, L4 lipid and L4 lipase. So very easy, lipid breaking down of lipids. Okay, breaking down protein was pepsin, and here carbohydrates was amylase, and absorbing nutrients is the function of small intestine, but lipase basically perform the function of breaking down lipids. Next, which of the following is responsible for regulating calcium level in the body? Calcium basically present in two major areas inside the body. One is blood, and second one skeleton or bones. So if the blood calcium level decreasing, calcium will transfer from bones to the blood, and if the level of the calcium increasing inside the blood, calcium will be transferred inside the bones to be stored. So who is responsible for regulating calcium level in the blood? Number one, thyroid gland, pancreas, and parathyroid gland, adrenal gland. It is parathyroid gland, because parathyroid gland secretes PTH, parathyroid hormone, which regulate the blood calcium level. The parathyroid gland regulates calcium level in the blood by secreting parathyroid hormone PTH, which influence calcium absorptions and release from the bones. Okay, so if there is a higher level of calcium inside the blood, extra calcium will be stored in the bones, and if there is low level of calcium in the blood, the required calcium will be transferred from bones to the blood, and this function is performed by parathyroid hormone PTH, secreted by parathyroid glands. Okay, important gland. What is the name of process by which a cell engulfs solid particles? When cell engulfs solid particles from its surrounding. So solid engulfing, taking in solid particle, is known as phagocytosis, and if it is in the form of liquid, it is called pinocytosis. That's why it is incorrect. Endocytosis is again incorrect. quite incorrect, because endocytosis means taking inside anything inside. Exocytosis taking outside anything. So if we are selecting endocytosis, it means it includes liquids and solid both, but in the question they have asked about solid particles. So solid particle means engulfing or taking in solid particles, solid materials is phagocytosis, while engulfing or taking in, not engulfing but taking in, liquid material is called pinocytosis, and both the processes are called endocytosis. That's why the correct option is phagocytosis. It is a BCQs type of MCQs. Number 1, phagocytosis is the process by which cell engulf and ingest solid particles or other cells into the vesicles, which then fuse with the lysosomes for digestion, and further the digestion is performed inside the cell by lysosome, because it contain hydrolytic enzymes. Hydrolytic enzyme, it perform internal digestion inside the cell. Which of the following is responsible for the breakdown of old or damaged organelles? Old or damaged organelles. Yes, old or damaged organelles. Breakdown, digestion of old or damaged organelles within the cell. Ribosomes, lysosomes, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum. Ribosomes is involved in protein synthesis. Incorrect option. Golgi apparatus, protein modification, secretion, storage. Endoplasmic reticulum, protein synthesis. Lysosomes contain some hydrolytic enzyme. That's why these are responsible for breakdown of all damaged organelles within the cell. Lysosomes are membrane bonded organelles. Membrane bonded organelles means these are basically surrounded by double membrane. So these are membrane bonded organelles containing digestive enzyme. They contain some digestive enzyme that break down cellular waste material, old organelles, and foreign invaders. Foreign invader means this might be a microorganism, this might be some antigen, some part of microorganism, some causative agents. Okay. What's the function of the spleen in the human body? Spleen in the human body, it is again the part of, you can consider the part of digestive system or accessory part of digestive system, not directly involved in digestion. So production of the red blood cells, storage of bile, filtering and removing all the damaged blood cells and foreign particles, regulation of the blood pressure. So correct option is filtering and removing all our damaged blood cells and foreign particle. Let's see the explanation. The spleen acts as a blood filter. It acts as blood filter. Number 1, removing all the damaged red blood cells. All or damaged red blood cells, because red blood cells has just 120 days life. Okay, 120 days life. So after these 120 days, these red blood cells should be removed from the body and new RBCs should be formed, and also serves as reservoirs for blood. Okay, so correct option is filtering and removing old or damaged blood cells and foreign particles. This is the function of spleen. Which of the following is the smallest bone in the human? Yes, human. Number 1, femur. Stapes, incorrect. Largest bone. Stapes is the correct bone. Humerus and tibia, all other options are incorrect. Correct option is stapes. So it is present in the middle of the ear. The stapes located in the middle ear is the smallest bone in the human body, contributing to the transmission of sound vibrations. Basically it carry the message in the form of sound vibration. Okay, in the form of vibration. Next, which of the following is responsible for the sense of smell? Yes, sense of smell. Number 1, olfactory nerves, optic nerves, auditory nerves, trigeminal nerves. Correct option is olfactory nerve, which basically carry the message from nose to the brain. The olfactory nerve is responsible for transmitting signals, giving signals, or carrying out the message from the nose to the brain, enabling the sense of smell. One point which is very important. For example, if these signals are cut down, if there is no signals from nose to the brain, we won't understand the exact smell of anything. So it is necessary for something to be correctly known for its smell. Signal should be sent from nose to the brain for correct sense of smell, for enabling the sense of smell. So olfactory nerves are responsible for this function. What is the role of the enzyme trypsin in the digestion? Again, trypsin and pepsin. Both are responsible for breakdowning the proteins, breakdowning of protein, trypsin and pepsin. Trypsin is secreted by pancreas. Okay, it is again an enzyme which breaking down proteins. Trypsin is an enzyme produced in the pancreas. Yes, the first one was produced in the stomach, but this one is produced in the pancreas, that break down proteins into smaller peptides. When proteins are breaking down, the smaller parts, the smaller pieces are known as peptides or peptones during the process of digestion. So it means proteins initially converting into peptides, and then these peptides will be converted into amino acid. Finally, amino acids are monomers. Amino acids are the smallest units of proteins. Which of the following is a function of urinary system? Urinary system is a main system inside the human body. Number 1, production of hormones, not at all. Regulation of blood sugar level, not at all. Number 3, removal of the waste products from the body. Digestion of the food. Digestion of the food is a function of stomach. So correct option is the removal of the waste product from the body. Waste product from the body through production of urine. So removal of the waste product of the body. And the urinary system consisting of kidney, it consists of kidneys, 2 kidneys, ureters, bladder and urethra. 2 kidneys and 2 ureters, 1 bladder and 1 urethra, is responsible for filtering and removing waste products from the blood. It is produce waste product. Filtering the blood and removing and separating waste product from the blood, it is the function of urinary system. What is the process by which plants bend or grow towards light? Bend or grow towards light. It's again phototropism. Photo means light, so tropism means movement towards light. Movement towards light is called phototropism. Hydrotropism towards water. Thigmotropism, gravitropism towards gravity. Okay, so correct option. I don't know the exact meaning of thigmotropism, so I will search. Sorry for that. So gravitropism towards gravity, phototropism towards light, and hydrotropism towards water. So phototropism is the correct option, correct answer. What is the primary function of the white blood cells? White blood cells are the cells of blood. Okay, white blood cells. Transportation of oxygen, not at all. It is function of RBCs. Defense against, yes. Blood clotting, function of platelets. Nutrients absorption, again, is not the function of white blood cells. The correct option is defense against pathogens, defense against different diseases, different infections. White blood cells, also known as leukocytes, are key components of the immune system. Immune system is the system of the body which protect the body from the foreign invaders, from the infections, from germs, from microorganisms, and play a crucial role in defending the body against infections. Yes, are foreign invaders. Okay, so these are the functions of white blood cells, also called as leukocytes. Which of the following is an example of monocot plant? Monocot plant are those plants which has seed, which has just one cotyledon, like for example 1 cotyledon, but now 2 cotyledon like this one, for example. So number 1, rose, daffodil, wheat. Wheat is an example of monocot plant because its seed contain 1 cotyledon. Wheat is an example of monocotyledonous plant characterized by having single cotyledon. Yes, it has single cotyledon, and its seeds and parallel leaf venation. Okay, second point is parallel leaf venation. For example, this is main plant, parallel leaf, 1 leaf, 2nd leaf, 3rd leaf, 4th leaf. So these are called parallel venation. Okay, and second one is alternate venation, 1 leaf, 2nd leaf, 3rd leaf, 4th leaf. This is called alternative venation, while the first one is parallel venation. It is the characteristics. Parallel venation is the characteristics of monocot. Number 1 and 1 cotyledon is the characteristics of monocot plant. Wheat is the correct option, which has monocot, which has 1 cotyledon in the seed and parallel leaf venation. And which stage of mitosis do chromosome align at the cell, align at the equator? Chromosome will align. Like for example, these are chromosome and these are aligned at one plate, and this plate is known as metaphase plate, and this phase is known as metaphase. When chromosomes align at equatorial plate, it is also known as equatorial plate, this stage is known as metaphase. Next one, which of the following is not a characteristics of viruses? Yes, viruses, living organism, not living organism. Okay, there are some properties that they have of living organism, while some characteristics they have belongs to non-living organism. So they cannot be characterized as living organism, but these are present at the borderline of living and non-living things. Number one, they contain both DNA and RNA. Yes, it is a correct option. Sorry, it is a correct property. Number one, because they might contain DNA and RNA. They cannot replicate outside a host cell. It is also correct. Characteristics. So the option is incorrect. They are asking about the not a characteristic, but these are characteristics of viruses. They possesses a protein code called capsid. Yes, they possesses a protein code called capsid. It is a characteristic of viruses. They are considered living organism. Yes, it is correct option, because this is not the characteristics of viruses. Again, what I'm repeating. Which of the following is not a characteristic of viruses? Number one, they contain both DNA and RNA. It is the characteristics of viruses, so it is incorrect option. They cannot replicate outside a host cell. Again, it is the characteristics of viruses. It is not a correct option. It might be the correct option. It might be the correct option, but this one is most suitable one. Okay. They consider living organism, so they cannot be considered living organism because they have some properties of non-living organism. Viruses are not considered living organism because they cannot carry out metabolic processes or replicate independently. They require host cell to replicate. Okay. Which of the following is the primary function of the small intestine? Small intestine is the part of GIT, gastrointestinal tract. Okay, absorption of nutrients, digestion of proteins, storage of bile, absorption of water. Absorption of nutrients is the correct option of small intestine. What is the function of the nephron in the kidney? Nephrons are the structural and functional units of kidney. They perform, they filter blood and they remove or they separate out waste material from the blood. Regulation of the blood sugar level, not at all. Filtration of the blood and formation of urine. It is the correct option, because production of erythropoietin, storage of urine, these are not the function of nephron. Correct option is filtration of the blood and formation of nephron. Here we have explanation. Which of the following is not a function of the nervous system? Yes, nervous system. We already discussed nervous system and endocrinal system. They both perform inside the body to maintain coordination inside the body, regulation of the body temperature, transmission of nerve impulses, integration of sensory information, coordination of the body. All are the functions of nervous system. But number one, regulation of body temperature is not the function, because it is a function of number one, endocrine system, and number two, physiological system, which we named in the previous MCQs thermoregulatory mechanism. Okay, it is thermoregulatory mechanism like sweating and shivering. Sweating when we feel hot, and shivering when we feel cool. Or body temperatures, when lowers down, our body performs shivering, and when the temperature of inside our body increase up, our body performs sweating. So these are the physiological mechanism. These are not the function of nervous system to maintain the regulation of body temperature. What is the role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis? Role of chlorophyll in photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, synthesis of food material. Okay, absorption of light energy. It is the correct option. Absorption of light energy is the function of chlorophyll. In which phase of the cell cycle does DNA replication occur? DNA replication before a cell divide, before cell goes to divide. Cell replicates its DNA. So in which phase basically DNA replication occurs? Number one, G1 phase. S phase is the correct option, where synthesis of DNA replication occurs. S is the phase of cell cycle where DNA replication occurs. Next one, what type of muscle is responsible for involuntary? Involuntary means those functions which are not in our control. Movements such as digestion and breathing. Digestion, movement of stomach which is responsible for digestion, and breathing, movement of lungs, which is responsible for gases exchange. So skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, smooth muscle, striated muscle. Smooth muscles are responsible for involuntary movements such as digestion and breathing. Involuntary, not in our control. So smooth muscles are responsible for involuntary movement of like stomach, inside stomach, involuntary movement of lungs, involuntary movement of heart. But again, heart, inside heart, smooth muscles are not present. There are cardiac muscles, okay? But in stomach and in lungs, inside lungs, smooth muscles are present. Which of the following is not a type of the white blood cell? White blood cell. Which one is not white blood cell? Neutrophils. Erythrocytes are not white blood cell because these are RBCs. These are responsible for carrying oxygen, for transferring oxygen. Okay, so erythrocyte is correct option. What is the function of the hormone adrenaline during fight or flight response? Fight or flight response. Okay, fight or flight response is an emergency condition when our body know about a surrounding, about condition, about some situation where our body feel emergency, so our body produce adrenaline, which is responsible for fight or flight response. And this hormone is responsible for decrease heart rate, not at all. Relax smooth muscles, increase blood pressure. It will increase blood pressure. It will increase blood pressure because fight or flight will need more blood. That's why it will increase blood pressure. Let's see the explanation. Adrenaline, also known as epinephrine, it's also known as epinephrine, is released by adrenal gland during the fight or flight response to stress and help increase heart rate, okay, dilate airways and elevate blood pressure. Elevate blood pressure to prepare the body for the action, because the body has to go for fight or flight response. That's why adrenaline or norepinephrine is released inside the body, and this hormone is responsible for the fight or flight response or for the preparation of the body for the action. Which of the following is the largest blood vessels carries oxygenated blood away from the heart to the body tissue? So which one is the largest blood vessels which carries blood away from the heart? It means oxygenated blood, oxygenated blood away from the heart to the body. And the largest blood vessels, so number one, pulmonary artery, not at all. Pulmonary vein, inferior vena cava, not at all. Aorta is the largest blood vessels that carries oxygenated blood away from the heart to the body tissues. So let's see the explanation. The aorta is the largest artery in the body and carries oxygenated blood from the heart's left ventricle to the rest of the body. What is the primary function of the white blood cells? We have already studied white blood cells, protect the body against invaders, protects the body against, number one, transporting oxygen, not at all. It's not the correct option. Fighting infection, clotting blood, carrying nutrients to the cells. So fighting infection is the correct option, because this is the function of white blood cell. It protects the body against infection. So correct option is fighting infection. Next one, which of the following is the correct sequence of the stages in the cell cycle? We have basically two. Number one, interphase, and number second one is M phase. So if we divide the first one, here we have G1 and then again S and then G2 and then M phase. M phase basically this one. So correct sequence is the first one, G1, S, G2 and M phase. There is another phase which is basically G0, but it is not a regular phase of interphase. So cell cycle sequence, correct cell cycle sequence is G1, S, G2 and M phase. Next one, what is the role of medulla oblongata in the brain stem? Medulla oblongata is a part of brain, okay, in the brain stem. Number one, regulation of the heartbeat and breathing. It is the first one is a good option, correct, right option. So medulla oblongata is responsible for regulation of the heartbeat and breathing. Next one, which of the following is responsible for the breakdown of the hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen? Hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, is a chemical that if sometime produced inside the cell, it will be converted into water and oxygen. And which organelle is responsible for this function? Number one, peroxisome, lysosome, vacuoles, endoplasmic reticulum. Peroxisome is correct option. Anywhere inside the body, anywhere when hydrogen peroxide is produced, it will be break down into water and oxygen by peroxisome. Let's see explanation. Peroxisome contain enzyme like catalase. It has some enzyme which are known as catalase, which break down hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen, thus detoxifying harmful substances. Detoxifying means removing harmful effect from substances. So peroxisome convert hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen inside the body. Next one, in which phase of mitosis do the sister chromatids separate? Sister chromatids separates and move towards opposite pole of the cell. For example, this one is a chromosome, okay, before cell division or during cell division it will replicate its copy and will make its copy, and this one is known as sister chromatids. So these two are called sister chromatids. So in which phase of mitosis do sister chromatids separate? And after some time, after the next stage, these sister chromatids will be separated out and will move to the individual neve forming cells. So it is a phase: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. It is the phase of anaphase. Anaphase is the phase where sister chromatids are separated from each other and will move to the opposite pole to reach the opposite pole and to form neve cell. Anaphase is a stage of mitosis where sister chromatids separates and move towards opposite poles of the cell pulled by spindle fibers. These sister chromatids will be pulled to the opposite pole by the help of spindle fibers, because there occurs contraction in these spindle fibers, and this contraction of spindle fibers will separate the sister chromatids. Okay, sister chromatids, basically these are identical, genetically identical, you can say. Genetically identical means having same genes, because these are copies of each other. That's why these are called genetically identical copies of each other, and these are called chromatids, and they will be separated in anaphase by the help of contraction of spindle fibers and will move to reach the opposite pole. What is the function of the hormone cortisol? Cortisol is a hormone which is responsible for stress regulation of stress response. Okay, it is an important hormone which is responsible for stress, managing stress. Cortisol, often referred to as the stress hormone, it is also called stress hormone, plays a key role in the body's response to stress, regulating metabolism, immune response, and blood pressure. And finally, you can say that it regulates stress response in our body. Which of the following is not a characteristics of arteries? Not a characteristics of arteries. Arteries are those blood vessels which usually carries oxygenated blood from heart towards the cells. So number one, thick muscular walls. Yes, characteristics. It is a characteristic of arteries. Elasticity is a characteristic of arteries. Carry oxygenated blood away from the heart. Yeah, these is also the characteristics of arteries. But finally, valves to prevent backflow. This is not the characteristics of arteries. So correct option, right option is D option, valves to prevent backflow. These don't have valve to prevent backflow. Okay, arteries don't have valves to prevent backflow. Instead, they have thick muscular walls. Yes, number second, elastic. Number third, high pressure and pulsatile flow of blood away from the heart. All others are the function of arteries, but the one which is valves to prevent backflow is not the characteristics of arteries, and it is a right option. What is the function of enzyme DNA polymerase in DNA? DNA polymerase in DNA replication. When DNA replication occurs inside the cell before cell division, there's enzyme which is known as DNA polymerase. What is the function of DNA polymerase? Number one, unwinding of the DNA double helix. Not at all. Number one, adding nucleotides to the growing DNA and strand. Yes, this is the correct option. Adding nucleotide to the growing DNA strand. Carrying nucleotides to increase the length of the DNA, growing DNA strand. It is the correct option, adding nucleotide. Nucleotide is the basic unit of DNA, consisting of pentose sugar, phosphate plus nitrogenous base. Okay. Next one is, which of the following disease is caused by a deficiency of insulin or insensitivity to insulin in the body? There are two cases. Number one, deficiency of insulin. There are not enough insulin. Number one. Number second, insensitivity to insulin. There are production of insulin, but the body cannot utilize the insulin. So that condition is known as type 1 diabetes. Yes, very good option, correct option, and easy option, type 1 diabetes. So the type 1 diabetes is autoimmune disease characterized by the destruction of insulin producing beta cells in the pancreas leading to insulin deficiency. Okay, insulin deficiency. Autoimmune means that the immune system, the cell of immune system cannot differentiate between the correct or the normal cells of the body. Okay, that's why they will act against normal body cells. They will unable to differentiate between the foreign body cells, the foreign invaders, the foreign antigens, the foreign microorganisms, and the cells of the body. That's why they will kill their normal cells. So in type 1 diabetes there is deficiency of insulin. Which of the following infectious disease is caused by bacterium and primarily transmitted through contaminated food and water? Contaminated means containing the causative agent, containing the causative microorganism, means contaminated food or water. So number 1, tuberculosis, malaria, cholera, dengue fever. Infectious disease means caused by infection but spread through contaminated food or water. It is cholera. Okay, cholera is the infectious disease caused by microorganism, a bacteria, but spread by contaminated food and water. It is basically a diarrheal condition. Diarrheal condition means where patient faces with loose motion. Okay, cholera is an acute diarrheal illness caused by the bacterial Vibrio cholera. It is a name of bacteria, causative agent, typically spread through the consumption of contaminated food and water. Means when someone will consume contaminated food or water, it will face it will suffer from cholera. Next one, which of the following diseases are characterized by abnormal cell growth? Abnormal cell growth with the potential to invade or to spread to the other parts of the body. Yes, again there are two conditions. Number 1, abnormal cell growth. What does it mean? Cell will divide in a controlled pattern, in a controlled way. But if there is a condition where cell is growing or cell is dividing abnormally, not in a controlled manner, not in a control of our body, it is a condition. And number 1. Number 2, it will spread to the other parts of the body. So which condition is basically this one? Number 1, diabetes, not at all. Arthritis, not at all. Cancer is the condition where cell abnormally grows and cell abnormally divide and will invade or spread to the other parts of the body. It is a condition which is called as cancer. Now let's see the explanation. Cancer is a group of disease characterized by uncontrolled cell growth and proliferation. Proliferation means movement to the other part. Spreading, okay, spreading to the leading to the formation of the malignant tumors. Malignant tumor is the tumor which can spread to the other parts of the body, that can invade nearby tissues. Yes, that can invade. They will affect other tissues, other organs, and spread to distant parts of the body. So cancer is a disease which is basically characterized by uncontrolled cell growth, uncontrolled cell division, and finally proliferation. I think I am mispronunciation this word, proliferation. Yes, proliferation, and leading to the formation of malignant tumors which can spread to the nearby tissues and will affect the nearby tissues. So this condition is known as cancer. Which of the following is a viral infection? It is a viral infection. Number 1 point, caused by virus that primarily affect the respiratory system. Second point, it will affect respiratory system. Number 1, viral infection. Number 2, respiratory system, causing symptoms such as fever, cough, difficulty breathing. Number 1, influenza, hepatitis, measles, chickenpox. It is influenza, which is a respiratory tract disorder causing by characterized by fever, cough, and difficulty breathing caused by influenza virus. So it is a disease which is known as influenza commonly known as the flu. Okay, is a contagious respiratory illness characterized by caused by influenza virus, primarily influenza A and B viruses. Okay, so it is a viral infection in the body. Which of the following diseases is characterized by chronic inflammation? Chronic means one is acute and second one is chronic. Acute means rapid action, rapidly occurring, and chronic means it is a prolonged action. Okay, inflammation means swollen of something of the airways means respiratory airways, leading to symptoms such as wheezing. It is a type of sound. Coughing is another symptom of some respiratory disease disorders. Shortness of breath, so it is a chronic inflammation of the airways characterized by wheezing, coughing, and shortness of breath. This condition is known as asthma. Asthma is the condition which is characterized by chronic inflammation of airways which cause wheezing, coughing, and shortness of breath. Which are the following autoimmune disease? Autoimmune disease, again, autoimmune means when the cells of the body, the cell, not the cell of the body, when the immune system of the body cannot differentiate between the normal cells and the abnormal cells, the normal cells and the invader cells, the normal cells and the agents that are coming, infectious agents that are coming from outside inside the body, from outside to inside the body. So the body will directly act against normal cell, okay, normal cell, body normal cell, and will degenerate body cells or body tissues. So affect the joints, causing pain, stiffness, and swelling. Joints causing pain, stiffness means the rigidity, okay, and swelling increase in size. Which disease is autoimmune disorder which is characterized by joints, causing pain, stiffness, and swelling, which primarily affects joints? Lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, cirrhosis. So it is basically rheumatoid arthritis. It is a degenerative disease, autoimmune disorders. Rheumatoid arthritis is autoimmune disorders characterized by inflammation of the synovial membrane in the joints, leading to pain, swelling, and eventually joint deformity. Synovial membrane, it's the membrane which is present between the two joints, two bones, sorry, not two joints, between two bones. The area between two bones is known as joints, and the cavity between the two bones is known as synovial cavity, and there is a fluid which is called synovial fluid, and there is a membrane which is called synovial membrane. So it is inflammation of synovial membrane which cause in the joints, which cause pain, swelling, eventually joint deformity. Which are the following neurological disorder characterized by progressive degeneration? Neurological disorder, it means it is associated with brain and nerves and neurons, okay. Progressive degeneration, slowly and progressively. Degeneration means breakdown of nerve cells in the brain, leading to symptoms such as tremors. Tremor means shaking of hands and forelimbs and hind limbs, okay. Rigidity, stiffness, and impaired movement, improper movement. So it is a neurological disorder which is characterized by progressive degeneration of nerves, which led to number 1 tremors, I mean shakings of hands, rigidity, number 3rd impaired movement, and this condition is known Parkinson disease, Alzheimer disease, Huntington disease, multiple sclerosis. It is Parkinson disease which is characterized by tremors, rigidity, impaired movement, and it is due to progressive degeneration of nerve cells in the brain, and it is a neurological condition. Let's see the explanation. Parkinson disease is a neurodegenerative disorder caused by the loss of dopamine producing neuron. What does it mean? Inside the body, the level of dopamine well goes down in the brain, resulting in motor symptoms such as tremors, bradykinesia, and rigidity, okay. Next one, which of the following infectious disease is caused by a parasitic protozoan transmitted through the bite of infected female mosquito? Number 1, female mosquito. Number 1, protozoan transmitted. An infectious disease, parasite, okay. Infectious disease caused by microorganism. Number 2, caused by parasite, protozoan. Parasite means a organism, a microorganism living inside the host and causing harm to the host, transmitted through the bite of infected female. Yes, bite of infected female mosquito. Infected female mosquito. Number 1, dengue fever, malaria. Malaria is the right option of the infectious disease caused by parasitic protozoan transmitted, and that protozoan is known as plasmodium. Yes, plasmodium parasite, okay. Primarily transmitted through the bite of infected female Anopheles mosquito. It means that when a female mosquito will bite someone, infected female mosquito will bite someone, the person will suffer from malaria, okay. Which of the following is a chronic inflammatory bowel disease characterized by inflammation of digestive tract, inflammation of digestive tract, resulting in symptoms such as abdominal pain. Abdominal pain is the first symptom, diarrhea is the second, and weight loss is the third one. Inflammation of digestive tract Okay, symptoms are abdominal pain, diarrhea, and weight loss. Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis. It is Crohn's disease. Correct option is Crohn's disease. So Crohn's disease is characterized by abdominal pain, diarrhea, and weight loss. It is the inflammation of digestive tract. Crohn's disease is a type of inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, that can affect any part of the digestive tract, leading to inflammation, ulcers, complications such as strictures and fistulas. Next one, which of the following disease is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus HIV? Human immunodeficiency virus, which attack the immune system, leading to progressive decline in immune function. Okay, it is a condition where basically the immune system of humans will, will low, will, you can say, will become weak, will cannot perform well. So immune function becoming low is a characteristics of HIV, and it is a condition which is known as tuberculosis, hepatitis, AIDS, and syphilis. So it is AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It is a combination. Syndrome means combination of multiple infection and multiple disorder diseases. So it is a characteristic, disorder, a syndrome in which the immune system becomes low, becomes weak due to the infection of human immunodeficiency virus HIV. HIV is responsible for AIDS, and this disease basically causing the weakness of immune function. Let's see the explanation. AIDS is caused by HIV, which weakens the immune system, making individual more susceptible to opportunistic infection and certain cancers. Okay, the person will more, susceptible to opportunistic infection, seasonal infections, and certain cancers. And this condition is known as AIDS. So this is the today's topic, and we have covered about 49 to 50 MCQs, important MCQs of biology. We will come with the next topic, next MCQ series soon. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.